time to act.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Finland for the statement just made, and I request protocol to escort His Excellency. The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Ignazio Cassis, President of the Swiss Confederation. I request protocol to escort His Excellency. On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome His Excellency Ignazio Cassis, President of the Swiss Confederation, and to invite him to address the Assembly.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President of the General Assembly, Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, heads of state and government, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. 20 years ago, Switzerland spoke for the first time at this podium as a fully fledged member of the UN. Switzerland joining the UN in 2002 was a special event, not only because of the occasion. Indeed, at the time, Switzerland was already the long-standing host state of the European headquarters of the UN in Geneva. It was also working actively within various UN specialized agencies. No, what was special, ladies and gentlemen, what was special about the event was something quite different. Switzerland is the only country to have joined the organization through a referendum. So, a vote by its people. This decision demonstrates that the values and the objectives of the UN dovetail with those enshrined in the Swiss Constitution. This is why we feel so closely attached to the United Nations Charter. The principles in this charter, the Charter of the United Nations, are more important than ever. Our world has seldom been confronted with so many challenges as today. We are at a watershed moment for ourselves, for the UN Charter, and for the entire planet. I was shocked by the act of military aggression by Russia, a great power, against its neighbor Ukraine. I would like to state that this act of military aggression violates the most basic principles of the Charter, which itself was adopted just after the Second World War, with the aim of preventing wars. Switzerland reiterates the appeal to Russia that Russia end the war in Ukraine immediately and that it respects its territorial integrity. This war is having an impact on the entire world. This is in addition to the numerous other global crises that, of course, we must not forget. Barely any continent today is spared from armed conflicts. Tensions are increasing between great powers, between neighboring countries, and even within some countries. Each day, international humanitarian law and human rights are violated. This is unacceptable and should alarm us. Serious human rights violations are the precursors of possible upticks in violence and instability. If we were to look at a map of conflicts raging today, it is clear that there is almost always a direct link with other challenges that disrupt our world, in particular growing food insecurity, the high energy prices and energy security, climate change, the loss of biodiversity, pollution of the environment as well, and also global public health crises such as the coronavirus pandemic that we've just experienced, but it is not yet over, and we still see the significant economic and social repercussions of it, buoyed by its qualities and the qualities it embraces and the experiences gained throughout its history. Switzerland is determined to do its part to find together transformative, and I quote, transformative solutions to interlocking challenges. And I'm taking up the wording of the theme chosen for the 77th General Debate. My country, Switzerland, is characterized not only by its system of direct democracy, its federalism, and its stable nature that characterizes its politics and its economy, but also by its diversity and its ability to find therein innovative solutions. These characteristics shape the way that we manage conflicts and resolve complex issues within our country. Our Swiss culture of compromise and the Swiss culture of consensus is critical. Problems are addressed and resolved through dialogue. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's long, but always by peaceful dialogue. Indeed, that certainly requires time, but it means that broad consensus can be attained for a final result that's perhaps a bit longer than one might like. For some members of the UN since 2002. We've only been here since the 2002. We weren't some of the first, but nonetheless, it gives our situation stability and it makes it lasting. This is exactly what happened when Switzerland joined the UN. Our experience seems to me also to be relevant for a world which indeed is at this crucial moment and facing a new era since these upheavals in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, in all modesty, I would like, if I may, outline the four main points that for Switzerland are important and which, in my view, are also crucial in terms of resolving numerous global challenges. Firstly, the importance of fundamental norms and values. Secondly, the intertwined nature of independence and cooperation. Thirdly, a commitment to peace and to security. And fourthly, the courage to stay on a steady course. So let us now look at things in order. Firstly, the importance of fundamental norms and values. International public law is crucial. It is particularly crucial the smaller a country is. We cannot tolerate the power of the strongest prevailing over the rights of the weakest. This is why Switzerland is committed to ensure the respect of international public law, that includes international humanitarian law and also human rights. This is also why Switzerland is committed to combating impunity. We must all ensure that serious breaches of international law be condemned. The perpetrators must be held account for their acts. For example, in the context of the mass grave in Izium. In this context, the values are the compass guiding our actions, so standing in solidarity with the international community and promoting sustainable development for us are fundamentally important. To this end, our shared roadmap is the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This should help our societies become more resilient, more sustainable, and more inclusive in the future. Some global circumstances have significantly slowed down the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Nonetheless, Switzerland is proud to have presented this year its second national report on the implementation of the 2030 Agenda. This report notes our progress made, even if additional efforts should be made to achieve all of the goals. I would therefore, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, urge you to take another look at the fundamental values of the 2030 Agenda and step up efforts to work together to ensure it be implemented. The second point was the intertwined nature of independence and cooperation. So they're not antinomes. Pursuant to the United Nations Charter, each country is sovereign and therefore it's independent. Like all countries do, Switzerland values its independence. It enables us to pay diversity of our culture and our population, to pay it the attention that it deserves. Switzerland has 4 national languages and has great cultural diversity. It is made up of 26 distinct cantons, all active politically, and this was before the federal state. Given this, we've learned that cooperation, mutual respect, and dialogue, and this is ongoing, permanent dialogue, these are the only ways to tackle difficulties. Independence and cooperation. Independence and cooperation in reality are 2 extremely closely linked concepts. Without cooperation, independence would be synonymous with isolation. Without independence, cooperation would be a constraint. An open dialogue from equal to equal, between equal and equal, a climate of trust and collaboration are of crucial importance for international cooperation. Thanks to International Geneva, Switzerland contributes to this dialogue. Geneva is the centre of multilateral diplomacy for matters pertaining to global governance, to peace, to human rights, to disarmament, to the environment and to healthcare, but also, and this is new, for anticipating technological challenges. For each and every one of us, the UN is a unique universal platform for dialogue and for cooperation. We need to make the very most of this. My third point, a commitment to peace and security. Switzerland is a neutral country. Ladies and gentlemen, this means that we strictly respect the right to neutrality enshrined in international public law. We do not get involved in conflicts, and we provide no military support to any party to a conflict. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen, nothing can change this or bring it into question. However, neutrality does not mean indifference. Neutrality does not mean an absence of solidarity. We undertake to protect the principles of freedom, of democracy, and of the rule of law, values that are also embedded in our Swiss constitution. Switzerland was elected to the Security Council of the United Nations here in this hall on the 9th of June with 187 votes. We thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the strong mandate that you have given us and for the trust that you have placed in us. By proposing our candidacy, Switzerland has shown that it is ready to shoulder its responsibilities to protect peace and security in the world. We will work unremittingly to live up to the trust that you have placed in us and to embody our slogan, A+ for peace. From this standpoint, we have established 4 priorities. 1, promote a lasting peace. We want to make available our long-standing experience in the area of promoting peace and conflict prevention. In this context, we particularly wish to focus on women's participation in the peace process. 2, protect civilians. They pay the highest price in conflicts. We commit to protect civilians, to ensure the respect for international humanitarian law and human rights. 3. Strengthen the effectiveness of the Security Council. For a long time now, we have advocated for greater effectiveness of this crucial UN body and for greater transparency in its work and for the involvement of all stakeholders. We will continue to pursue this as part of our term. The 4th point is acting for climate security. Climate change, one of the greatest challenges we face, also threatens peace and security. This is why we will rally to ensure this issue also be addressed within the Security Council. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying that our commitment to a more peaceful world is not just limited to the Security Council. This is why Switzerland, along with its Ukrainian partners, hosted the Conference on the Reconstruction of Ukraine in the Tessin canton, from whence I hail. The Lugano principles that stemmed from that establish broadly accepted criteria for reconstruction and reform in Ukraine. I would like to take this opportunity to commend the involvement of our partners, Great Britain and Germany, in pursuing this process, the first in 2023 and then Germany in 2024. If the parties involved so wish, Switzerland always stands ready to share its long and vast experience of good offices. My 4th point is the courage to stay on a steady course. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing complex challenges. Nonetheless, our resources are limited. It is therefore crucial to prioritize our action. What does that mean for multilateralism? That means that we need to focus on the critical issue of the peaceful and lasting coexistence of the peoples. That means that we need a strong, effective UN, and it can only be effective if it is focused. That means a clear and better distribution of tasks and a better coordination of the UN organizations. Then it will make it possible to tap into all existing synergies. That also means that we need to make better use of science. I very much liked the fact that the President of the Assembly has focused on the collaboration with science in his statement this morning. We call this scientific diplomacy. The exciting developments provided here pave the way to new approaches and progress which is likely to achieve tangible results. The Swiss government, with the Geneva canton, is proud along these lines to have created the GESDA Foundation, the Geneva Science and Diplomacy Anticipator Foundation. The aim of GESDA is to anticipate the challenges posed by new technologies, to maximize the benefits from them and to minimize the risks for people, and also to guarantee a sustainable future for our planet. Or, if I can put it another way, the targeted strengthening of multilateralism and the refocusing on key issues, these are precisely these instruments that will enable us together to find a solution to this difficult period that we're in and will guide us towards a better future. The UN provides a unique framework, the only framework currently globally to fulfill and uphold the resolve expressed in the preamble of its charter, namely, unite our strength to maintain international peace and security. That is the focus, as partners and not as adversaries. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Swiss Confederation for the statement just made, and I request protocol to escort His Excellency. The Assembly will hear an address by Her Excellency Zuzana Chaputova, President of the Slovak Republic. I request protocol to escort Her Excellency. On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome Her Excellency Susana Shaputo,